By 2030, France could have so much talent that some world-class players might not even make the starting 11. In fact, some incredible players might not even make the squad. Because France's biggest problem won't be a lack of talent. It will be deciding which talent to leave behind. So this is my prediction for France's 2030 World Cup squad in a 4-2-3-1 system. And in goal, Lucas Chevalier. By 28, he should be entering his prime and firmly establishing himself as France's #1. As PSG's goalkeeper, he will be playing at the highest level every week. His reflexes, one-on-one ability and confidence on the ball make him the obvious choice between the posts. Behind him is Guillaume Reste, a modern and incredibly complete goalkeeper. His positioning, agility and composure in possession make him one of the most exciting young goalkeepers France has produced in years. And then Robin Risser. Quick reactions, commanding presence and excellent distribution. France somehow keeps producing modern goalkeepers, and Risser could be the next one in line. At right back, I went with Jules Koundé. By 31, he may no longer be the youngest player in the squad, but experience matters. Reliable, technically secure and defensively outstanding, he is exactly the type of player coaches trust in major tournaments. Backing him up is Malo Gusto, maybe not quite world-class, but still a very valuable option. His energy, crossing ability and aggressive style make him a natural replacement. I absolutely love this partnership, William Saliba and Wesley Fofana. Saliba should be right in the middle of his prime. Physically dominant, elegant on the ball, and blessed with incredible anticipation, he could easily be the best defender in world football by 2030. Alongside him is Wesley Fofana. Powerful, fast and aggressive, he brings exactly the qualities needed to complement Saliba. Together, they could form one of the most complete defensive partnerships in international football. On the bench sits Ibrahima Konate, which tells you everything you need to know about France's depth. A physically dominant defender with tremendous pace and strength, yet only a backup. Then there is Dayot Upamecano. By 31, experience should have refined his game even further. He possesses every attribute you could ask from a centre-back, and there should be no concerns whenever he steps onto the pitch. But even he sits on the bench. And then there is Jeremy Jacquet, primarily a centre-back, but his physical profile and proactive defending give France additional flexibility across the back line. Left back is where things suddenly become interesting, because despite all the ridiculous depth elsewhere, this is probably France's weakest position. So I went with Castello Lukeba. And yes, he's not even a natural left back, he's another centre back. But his speed, left foot and technical quality make him an excellent solution. Sometimes tournament football isn't about finding perfect answers. It's about finding the best fit. Behind him is Diane Methali, a hard-working and technically gifted player. Solid rather than spectacular, but perfectly capable of filling the role. Now the midfield. And while France somehow keeps producing another elite midfielder every 6 months, deciding whether to like the video and subscribe to the channel should still be considerably easier than selecting this squad. Because France may have found another absurd partnership for the next decade. Starting with Ayoub Bouadi. Forget Crown Prince. This kid might become the next king of the French midfield. Despite his age, he already plays with incredible maturity. Press-resistant, intelligent and outstanding positionally. Everything about his game feels calm and controlled. If his development continues, France may have found another ridiculous midfielder. Next to him is Warren Zaïre-Emery. Dynamic, mature, and incredibly complete. He can defend, dictate the tempo, and constantly drive the team forward. Together with Bouadi, he could form the heartbeat of France for years to come. On the bench is Aurélien Tchouaméni. And yes, many people will disagree with that. But every squad needs different profiles. Sometimes you need somebody who can protect a lead and bring physicality and stability into a game. Few players do that better. Which brings us to Eduardo Camavinga, perhaps France's most overqualified emergency left back. The slightly unloved son of French football, often blamed for far more than he deserves, despite being an outstanding player. Officially, he's a midfielder, but don't be surprised if he ends up solving problems on the left side as well. And finally, Khéphren Thuram. Not necessarily world-class in one particular aspect, but very good at almost everything. Powerful, dynamic and tactically useful, he is exactly the kind of fifth midfielder coaches love having in tournament football. On the right wing is Michael Olise, the star who doesn't want to be a star. Perhaps that's exactly why he is one. Technically gifted, creative and blessed with a magical left foot, he has the ability to transform games. Surrounded by elite talent, He won't have to carry the burden alone, and that might bring out the very best in him. Behind him is Jean Mateo Bahoya, maybe not the biggest name, but his pace and dribbling offer something different. Every squad needs variety, and Bahoya brings exactly that. At number 10, I went with Ryan Cherki. A street footballer. The kind of player defenders hate, the own coach sometimes too, but supporters adore. He sees passes others don't even attempt. He creates chances out of nothing and has the technical ability to decide games with a single touch. By 26, he could become the player football fans have always imagined. On the bench is Désiré Doué, which is absurd when you think about it. Explosive, creative and versatile, he could easily start for many national teams. But that's France. Somebody exceptional always has to sit on the bench. On the left wing is Kylian Mbappé. By 31, he won't represent the future anymore. He'll represent the bridge, the final connection between generations, perhaps even his last dance. And yet, Mbappé at 31 is still Mbappé. Still devastating in transition, still terrifying in open space, still one of the faces of world football. Behind him is Bradley Barcola, the perfect luxury option. Fast, direct and capable of playing multiple positions. He is exactly the kind of player you want to unleash against tired defenders. And now the striker. Unlike England, Germany or Italy, France doesn't really need a traditional number 9. Because with Olise, Cherki and Mbappé behind him, almost any intelligent attacker can become dangerous. That's why I went with Ousmane Dembélé. By 33, he may no longer be at his absolute peak, but he should still be one of France's defining players. Not a classic striker, but perhaps that's exactly the point. Movement, creativity, chaos, and defenders never quite knowing what comes next. Behind him is Eli Junior Krupi. One thing France always seems to produce is exciting attacking talent. Quick, intelligent and tactically mature. He could become the perfect modern forward and perhaps one of the next names to emerge from France's endless production line. And finally, Marcus Thuram. Because apparently there always has to be two Thurams. Powerful, direct and physically dominant, he offers something completely different. The type of player who can force things when matches become chaotic. So that's my France squad for the 2030 World Cup. And if France fail in 2030, I don't think it'll be because they lacked talent. It might simply be because they had too much of it. But what would you change? Who is completely wrong? And who did I forget?